Today we have the Miami Dolphins. Um, the Dolphins were a very exciting team last year, and they made it to the playoffs, 9-8 last year. However, they did lose first round to the Bills by only 3 points, which was pretty incredible because they had Skylar Thompson, their third string quarterback, starting. So I think Miami has some high expectations this year. Obviously, Tua needs to stay healthy. That is the main key because whenever he was healthy, their offense was humming. They obviously have Tyreek Hill, Jaylen Waddle, two of the fastest guys in the NFL. Super fun to watch. It's going to be exciting to see how they do. They did lose Mike Gesicki this year. He went to the New England Patriots. He did only have 362 yards last year, but he is a very reliable target and a nice red zone receiver to have. Such a big body. They also added Jalen Ramsey to the defense. However, he tore his meniscus in practice, and now he won't return to the Dolphins until December. So if you're a Dolphins fan, you're hoping you're in playoff contention, and then you get Jalen Ramsey in December. It's like making a trade, but he's just getting healthy, and he could help your defense be pretty solid. So let's just jump right into it and start looking at their offense. Obviously, Tua needs to stay healthy because he was playing very good last year. In his 13 games he played, he passed for 3,548 yards, had 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, so pretty good touchdown to turnover ratio. He averaged 272 yards per game, which pretty solid. And when you're throwing to Tyreek Hill and Jaylen Waddle, those are great guys to throw to. Tyreek Hill had 1,700 yards receiving, 119 receptions, 7 touchdowns. Jaylen Waddle had 75 receptions, 1,300 yards receiving, 8 touchdowns. So 2 guys over 1,200 yards receiving is pretty dang good. And I expect the same from him this year. And if 2 is healthy the whole year, they could both be over 1,500 yards. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Their passing attack was one of the best in the league last year. They were top 10 in passing. However, they were bottom 10 in rushing because overall they were top 10, I believe, or 6th in total yards per game in the NFL. But the rushing was bottom, towards the bottom. They have Raheem Mostert. He returns again. He had 891 yards, 3 touchdowns. He averaged 4.9 yards per game, but he only had 181 carries. So it's not like he was running a ton every single game, but he's a speedster. They had Jeff Wilson and Chase Edmonds. I believe Chase Edmonds isn't with them this year. And Jeff Wilson's on injured reserve. So they did draft Devin Achane out of Texas A&M. I could be pronouncing his last name completely wrong, but he is a speedster, which kind of fits in with the Dolphins' skill position guys. Raheem Mostert, speed. Tyreek Hill, obviously, super fast. And Jaylen Waddle, also super fast. So their offense is very exciting. They also do have Cedric Wilson as their wide receiver 3, who solid if he stays healthy. And then they also picked up Braxton Berrios, who he's not like the greatest receiver, but he's super fast and he'll get a couple deep bombs throughout this year. But I think they're going to be one of the top offenses again this year. And then just to reiterate this point, Tua needs to stay healthy. I know they apparently has been doing some like taekwondo or judo or something to help with him like falling or getting tackled in a safer way so he can like roll out. There was one video of him on Twitter or X, and it was like, look how well Tua's improved or whatever. And it was him getting like sacked and rolling. And I watched it probably 10 times and had no idea what was going on. But apparently that's helping him stay healthy. So hopefully Tua can stay healthy. I'm excited to see what kind of season he can put together if he does stay healthy. And then I also forgot to mention that they did sign Mike White in the offseason as their backup quarterback. So a gunslinger as your backup is not a bad insurance policy in case Tua goes down. Um, all right, let's get to this defense. This defense last year was about middle of the pack in yards given up per game, and they allowed 23 points per game, which was kind of middle to bottom of the pack. Um, I think this defense is like underrated, or not really underrated. I always thought they were like pretty solid, but one thing that did kind of hold them back last year is they only had 14 takeaways, which was second to last in the NFL, which I believe made their turnover margin minus and not plus. Yes, -7, which was bottom of the pack. If Tua stays healthy, I expect that turnover margin to improve. But also, I would expect this defense to get more turnovers. They have Xavier Howard, one of the best corners in the league. Um, they traded for Bradley Chubb last year, which I completely forgot about. So he's going to get some sacks and wreak some havoc on the defensive side. They have Christian Wilkins, Clemson guy, who's just a stud on the defensive tackle, just wreaks havoc, does all kinds of weird stuff. Sometimes will touch the crotch area of the Bills quarterback when he's laying on the ground, which disavow, but he's a good player. Bradley Chubb played with them for 8 games last year and had 2.5 sacks. Their leading sack getter last year was Jaylen Phillips with 7. They had kind of had like a lot of guys with quite a bit of sacks, each with like 2 to 3, 4. Melvin Ingram had 6. So I think they really want Bradley Chubb to be that guy to get some sacks for them, get some more sacks, because that's huge in the NFL is getting to the quarterback. Both their linebackers had over 100 tackles last year, which is pretty dang good. But I expect their defense to improve and the yards per game that they gave up. Their first matchup is week 1 against the Chargers, which I'm gonna have them lose. I like the Chargers and Justin Herbert. So I'm gonna have them lose that one. Week 2, I'm gonna have them. They're at New England. I'm gonna have them beat New England. Week 3 at home against the Broncos, they're gonna win that game as well. So that's 2 wins. Week 4 at the Bills, I'm gonna have them lose against the Bills. Week 5 against the Giants at home, they're gonna win that one to give them their 3rd win. Week 6 against Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers, they're gonna win that one, so they're gonna have 4 wins now. Week 7 at Philadelphia, that's gonna be a loss. Week 8 at home against the Patriots. So I was kind of debating looking at this before if I wanted them to sweep the Patriots, but I'm gonna do it. They're gonna beat the Patriots, give them their 5th win. Week 9 at Kansas City, that's gonna be a loss. Week 11 against AJ's favorite team, the Las Vegas Raiders. Somehow he thinks they're gonna be like amazing. I think they're gonna suck. But with that said, the Dolphins are gonna beat the Raiders. So that's their 7th win. At the Jets, I think they're going to lose this one at the Jets. Week 13 at the Commanders, they're going to win that one. Week 14 against the Titans, they're going to win that one. Give them 8. Week 15 against the Jets, they're going to beat the Jets at home. I believe that's 9 wins. I think it's 10. I think I have them at 10 right now because I looked before and I have them. Yes, that's 10 wins. And then they play the Cowboys, obviously going to lose. And then I have them playing at Baltimore. I think it's going to be a tough game for them to play. December, it's New Year's Eve. It's going to be cold up there in Baltimore. I'm going to have them lose that game. And then week 18 at home against the Bills, I'm going to have them beat the Bills at home to finish the regular season. And if I picked all those games like I did earlier, they should have ended up with the record of 11-6. They have a tough schedule. The Bills, Ravens, Cowboys. I had to play the Bills and Jets twice. They got the draw of the Chiefs, and the Eagles, and the Giants. I had them beating the Giants, but the Giants are a solid team as well. So, and they have the Chargers. So very tough schedule, but the Dolphins could even do better than that. They have a very talented roster. I think they're going to be really good this year, fun to watch, with all those speedsters, and I expect them to get in the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to win the division. They may get in a wild card. The AFC is so loaded. It's going to be tough to get in the playoffs. So very excited to see how the Dolphins do this year. I think they could be really good. Yeah, and that'll do it. Dolphins 11-6. And yeah, be on the lookout for our next episode. I think it's going to be the Seahawks or Jaguars, one of those two. But thanks for listening and see you guys.